Welcome back, my gentle people. This is Corner Stories with your daily serving of relationship stories. So let's get into it. AITAH for giving my husband an ultimatum and telling him I will leave him if he doesn't stop acting like he's God. My husband and I have been married for 4 years and we have 2 children. When we first met, he told me he was atheist. I didn't really care. I was born into a Catholic family but never really practiced. So religion was never a part of our relationship. But over the past year or so he has shifted. At first it started with him saying he is questioning our existence, that led to him believing that there may be a higher power. It ended with him believing he himself is actually God. At first I thought he was joking, so I humored him a bit. But after months of it getting progressively worse and worse, I'm done with it. He built a small little room in our backyard in which he goes and prays to himself. He says things like, "If it isn't true, then why do I believe it?" It's gone from stupid to downright creepy and scary. He also has been looking into renting a building so he can open a legitimate church. I find him oftentimes just sitting in silence, him saying he feels people praying to him. And that it's time for him to finally reach out and help those who need him. I told him enough is enough and that I am not going to deal with this. I said he must drop all this shit immediately or I will leave him and take the kids. He seems to not understand and thinks I am just rebelling but will find my light soon or something like that. Relevant comments. Have either of you considered that he should see a doctor? He's delusional and that could be a sign of a brain tumor. Or mental illness. This is not uncommon in bipolar disorder. And all sorts of other mental illnesses as well. Schizophrenia symptoms begin in young men in their early 20s and often portrays as a godlike complex. If he won't agree to a mental health eval, perhaps you should pursue a court order for an involuntary evaluation? Story 2. Stepmom is trying to kick my brother out because I won't let her children stay with me. Advice needed. I am 24F and I have a brother who is 18 going to college in the state I moved to. I moved out when I was 17 because the living situation I was in was horrible. My dad got remarried to a woman who was the devil walking on earth. She brought her twins that she had from a previous relationship with her and they're a year younger than I am. When my dad wasn't there, she would pinch and be verbally and emotionally abusive to me and my brother. I would tell my dad, and he would not believe me, and he would do nothing. I like living alone because of the horrible situation I was put in when I was growing up. Being forced to clean up after my step-siblings when they made a mess. Being woke up at 3 a.m. to clean their dishes that they purposely left out and made a mess of so their mother could berate me and call me names and they would join in. Having my door taken from me because I would hide out in my room to get away from them. My brother got into a college in my state but he doesn't have a dorm or housing, so I told him he could stay with me. I know the torment he had to go through when I left and I hate that I couldn't take him with me. I have a 3-bedroom apartment, so I told him to just make sure he cleans up after himself and tell me when he has company. I guess my stepmother got wind of this and now she's tired of her 23-year-olds living in her home doing nothing. Which she had no problem with at first because they were finding themselves. She thought she would have them apply to the same school as my brother and they could experience that together. I'm telling you, this woman has a warped view on reality. She got my phone number by bullying my brother and called me up saying that I am going to also house her children. I told her there is no way in hell that I'm doing that and she's funded their lifestyle up until now so she can find them an apartment. She proceeds to tell me that it's my duty because they're my siblings. I told her that they are not my siblings. Siblings don't dump water on my head when I'm sleeping, they don't wreck the car and blame it on me, nor do they leave bruises on me. I'm not doing it and to never contact me again. Later my brother calls me hysterical saying that our dad won't pay for his college anymore so he can't go and she's telling him he has to leave the house. I told him that's no problem, I'll pay for it and he can come stay with me. I guess the step-siblings heard and they went and complained to their mom, so she put him out and he's staying with a friend. I am just so exhausted with their family. Like, how are you 23 crying like this? So I'm going down this weekend to pick up my brother. There's no way they can stop me, is there? He's 18 and they did kick him out. I know he's still in high school, so there's nothing legal they can do to stop me, is there? Relevant comments. Your dad is a spineless asshole. OP's response. Tell me about it. Called him every name in the book before I left. Comment 2. Please help your brother lock down his credit and secure any documents like his birth certificate or social security card. At this point I would not put anything past wicked stepmother. Also camera security and save text messages in case she tries to physically leave her adult kids on your doorstep. Good luck to you and your brother. Story 3. Final story. My ex's friend convinced her that I was cheating and destroyed our relationship, so I exposed them all to each other. Altered names for privacy. I was with my ex, and, for 4 years before our nasty breakup. We were happy for the first 3 years because we were genuine best friends. People openly admitted that the way we could laugh, joke and play fight filled any house with happiness. However, within the last year or so, there was a serious breakdown in affection and communication. She became very cold, mean and distant. She stopped letting me go out and was very accusational. She stopped showing me basic decency, and our relationship began circling the drain during that time. I didn't know till very recently, but her friend Lauren convinced her that I cheat on her while she's away. Anne's friends are Lauren, Jillian, Kira and Kaysen. Lauren and Kaysen are together. This is important, you see, and travels for work. She's usually gone for up to 3 weeks at a time. She came back from her most recent work trip last Friday, and over breakfast the next day, bluntly confronted me and asked me if I'd slept another woman while she was gone. I told her no, which is the truth, but it wasn't good enough and she demanded to see my phone. I said no because of how out of left field this is and never once had either of us ever needed to go through the other's phone. She took my phone and went through it anyways. She investigated my texts, calls, Snap, Insta, etc. She was cross-referencing my followers and friends with people who liked my Instagram posts. It was absolutely mental to see. She couldn't find what she was looking for and accused me of deleting texts and contacts. She threw my phone back at me and stared off angrily. Her breathing was very heavy and flared, and I could tell she was holding rage towards me. At that moment, I felt very tense and stressed in her presence. I don't know why, but I asked, "Did you do something on your work trip that I should know about?" I could see that she nearly exploded again, but her composure shrunk and her breathing calmed. The silence that followed was probably a better answer if I'm being honest. "You cheated first." She couldn't even look at me while she said that. I instantly knew what that statement meant and it was like a stab to the heart. When the fuck did I ever cheat on you? I won't quote the entire conversation verbatim, but long story short, Lauren filled Anne's head with a bunch of bullshit about how her long work trips would push me to cheat because it would push any man to cheat. Welp. Turns out Anne cheated on her work trip under the advice of Lauren. Her anger, guilt and fear built up and made her explode. I finally realized why it felt so futile trying to fix the relationship for the last year. So badly I just wanted to go back to being who we used to be. But now it was clear. Any trust she had in me was constantly being undermined by someone else that she trusted. It didn't matter. The damage was done and actions can't be reversed. I don't know how to describe it, but I think my emotions just completely shut off in that moment. I detached completely and whatever beauty I beheld disappeared before my eyes. I told her to leave and never come back. She packed up some of her clothes, screamed at me and called her mom to come get her. I've spent the last few days just grieving and figuring shit out. I'm the kind of person that copes by avoiding home, so last night I went out by myself hoping to play some pool and get drunk at the bar. I went to a semi-popular lounge at a mall and had some cheap, stiff drinks for their happy hour. I had a good buzz by the time happy hour ended, but I wasn't feeling the best. My buddies didn't show up, so I was sitting there like a sad, smoked dick. Then a group of people entered in front of where I was facing. I immediately recognized them to be Anne, Jillian, Kira and Lauren. I switched seats to face away and hung my head. I don't think they saw me because they picked a booth that was behind my left. I won't lie, it hurt seeing Anne dressed up again. She stopped wearing makeup and doing her hair around the same time Lauren got in her ear. They all sit down, and I hear Jillian asking the girls to cover her tab. And mentioned that she never has her own money. Anyways, I make like a tree and get the fuck out of there before they notice me. I hope. So here's the thing. When Anne and I were together, it was always something new when she came home from hanging out with her friends. She was either stressed or mad about something, or she had to keep a new secret for somebody from the rest of the friend group. And she told me about it. Every single time. One instance stands out as the last nail in the coffin for whatever good faith I had for her friends. You see, Lauren loves to drink, but she's a lightweight. In 2022 she threw a party and invited the girls over, plus Kaysen. About 1 or 2 a.m., the drinks are running low and Lauren wants to keep going. Her and Kaysen send Anne and Jillian on a beer run, but since they're already drunk, they walk. Took Em about 40 minutes there and back, and by the time they got back, they found Lauren passed out in the living room. And went out for a smoke while Jillian went to go use the washroom. Couple seconds later, Jillian runs outside crying, being chased by Kira and Kaysen. They're begging Jillian not to tell Lauren what she just saw. Yup. She caught them sleeping together upstairs. And from what Ann tells me, Jillian was really going to tell Lauren about it, until the cheating pair bribed her with an expensive handbag and Lord Huron concert tickets. Jillian must have felt so guilty with her hand-me-down bag, that she took Lauren to the concert to make herself feel better about it. Okay, end of background gossip. I left the bar for home and checked my phone. Yup, I'm still in the old group chat. Do you ever wonder how Jillian is always broke yet she got that expensive bag? Yeah, well, Ann told me that Jillian caught Kaysen sleeping with Kira upstairs in your house back in July 2022, so Kira gave Jillian her old handbag not to tell, and Kaysen bought the floor tickets to the Lord Huron concert that she took you to. Pressed send. Lauren and Kira saw it immediately and one began typing. I left group, blocked and went do not disturb. Not my problem. Update, not unblocking their numbers or Facebooks, but you peer pressured me and I checked for their IGs. Don't wanna check Ann's and didn't check for her on anyone's profiles. Jillian's account is private but her profile is still the same. Can't find Kira's account in my block list so I think she deactivated her account. Kaysen's account is public, but he has no posts and his profile picture is deleted. Can't find Lauren, Kira or Jillian in his following or followers. Lauren's profile is public, but she took Kaysen's name and their anniversary date out of her bio. Pictures with Kaysen and Kira are also gone. Can't find Kira or Kaysen on her lists either. She still has Jillian. Again, didn't bother checking for Ann. Probably not gonna update again. And might send her brother to collect the rest of her stuff. He's cool. Might smoke up and procrastinate by playing Xbox with him. ITK. Final update. I don't give a fuck what your individual opinions are. I don't care if you personally believe this or that, and I don't care if you don't believe what I posted. I literally just fucking don't. I posted this for myself. This wasn't curated for anyone's individual reading pleasure. Don't reach out to me, don't message me. Relevant comments. And has a mentally of a 5-year-old if she is that easily influenced and gullible. Also, be glad to leave so that you can find better people. Comment 2. That's my thought, unless my friends brought me actual proof, like photos or copies of texts. I would never ever believe them, or let them convince me that my husband was cheating on me. And her friend managed to convince her to cheat on her husband. Like in what universe that makes any sense? She shouldn't be married with a childish mentality like that. This is what boggles my mind the most, even if he was really cheating, in what world does that make it fine for her to cheat herself? And before even confronting him about it, too, on top of it all. This is where I will leave you. Thank you everyone for spending your time with me today. I hope you enjoyed the stories I had for you.